I love this slide deck, and I have from the very start. She used to come to our industry standard conferences in the bubble and share it with us. Now she's sharing it in front of a different conference crowd today. But some of the things they're talking about here are really shocking, not least of which is slowing growth rates in the internet, dramatically slowing growth rates in the internet.
That's right, Corey. One of the reasons for that she points to, and one of the reasons people love this report so much, is that she gets up out of the everyday and she goes back 20, 30, 40, 50 years. And one of the things she points to is that China has just been on this massive building boom. There's been $21 trillion of capital growth during the past 6 years invested compared to, and that's more than was done in the previous 30. So there's been this massive run up in China that's now starting to taper off. And as a result, the numbers overall are coming down.
She basically says developed markets are developed.
Exactly, except for India. That was the one standout.
Well, talk to me about that. What did she say about India?
There's still room for growth. They are still growing. It was the one country that did see some positive uptick in internet usage of new users and also smartphone users. And now it is the second largest market, just behind China, passing the United States.
Now, John, a big part of that, of course, is mobile consumption and the notions from this report about what's happening with smartphones and what's happening with mobile. You know, most of these users will never see a desktop, particularly the users that are yet to be added. I mean, and they are adding numbers, but without China, it'd be pretty much flat. The growth rate would, at least.
It may be.
Without India, it'd be flat. But again, this is all happening on smartphones.
Yeah, I mean, one thing to keep in mind on India is the fact that Indians love their cheap phones. So if you look at the average smartphone price in India, it's down around $120. It's up around $280 in China. So in terms of the revenue opportunity for big vendors like Apple and Samsung, China was a much richer market. And you know, you were referring before about the slowdown in China. Let's put it into context. 5+ years ago in 2010, that was a market growing well over 100%. This year, the unit growth in China is, in 2015, the unit growth in China was about 1.5%. So we've seen a very rapid slowdown there due to saturation.
Yeah.
All eyes now have shifted to India, where the unit growth opportunity is high, but the revenue opportunity, I think, is going to be lower just because we're talking about the popularity of those lower-priced phones.
Right. But that was a prediction of China when that market had yet to take off a few years ago. And Apple in particular belied that. They came with the most expensive phone they've ever had, and it was a huge success in China.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I mean, one thing that we're looking for in India is they really don't have a lot of 4G networks there. And so as those 4G LTE networks that we love so much here in the US begin to get built out nationwide in India, they're going to need 4G phones to access and really leverage the power of those networks, and that means paying for a higher priced phone.